appropriate times and knew that Grandma had come to see her play. So, you know, I said earlier my mom was a little bit naive when she was young, and she was a little bit of a prude too, or at least so I thought. One time when I was about 12, we pulled up to Wong's corner store. I used to phone there and say, "Is this the Wing residence?" And they'd say I got the Wong number, so that's why I said Wings by mistake. And there were some kids out front, and they were swearing. And she gave me a 10-minute lecture. I hadn't even done anything about how I shouldn't be using that kind of language and the punishment that I would bear for doing that, and how she just didn't understand how anyone could possibly use those types of words. Well, those that know her now know that at least on the surface that has changed. Cousin Loring would visit frequently throughout my life. There's photos on the slide back there of him sitting with my mom and Eddie, and him sitting in a spot. There's pictures of him and Jim Baber sitting in a spot. And he was a good friend to both Eddie and Jim. My mom and Loring corresponded on a quite regular basis. She always looked forward to the next letter from Loring coming. And this started during the Vietnam War. So this is how long they corresponded before they connected here. About 6 years after my mom and Jim broke up, Loring came up for a visit. And it seemed to be a long visit. And one day, Stacy and I had a phone call from my mom with both Loring on the end and the other end of the phone, and insisted that we both get on the phone at the same time. And that's when my mom informed us that we're more than cousins. We're lovers. So they were married June 2nd, 1990, and Loring was the love of her life. I never saw her happier than when she was with Loring. It didn't matter what Loring was done, she always had that amused smile and was laughing and just so happy to be with him. Maybe she never did stop really believing in Santa. She spent a year, the better part of a year, nursing Loring, and I can't imagine a harder thing to go through. She weathered it bravely and lovingly. She lived here on Carroll Street for 35 years, and she desperately wanted to have Loring service here at her home. But the weather wasn't cooperating. Rory was kind enough to find an alternate location, and we had it elsewhere. So I thought it was very fitting that we had this here for her today. She had the gift of meeting new friends pretty much anywhere she went. And this is a gift that she passed on to my son Jordan. He can go into McDonald's and have a new best friend. She blessed many with her counseling and her nurturing, and was a mother figure to many. The Sunday before she passed, Mom wanted to come over and watch the hockey game, but she was having some challenges. She had left her interior light on and her car battery died, and she couldn't find her extra set of keys, because we thought maybe it was the fob that was broken. And that was the first thing that I found when I cleaned up the basement, was the set of keys, so that was kind of fun. But she ended up coming over anyway. She called BCAA and they came, got her started. It was a dead battery, and so we watched the closing ceremonies for the Olympics together and had dinner, and it was a wonderful opportunity. We talked about many things that night. She was clearly moving on from Loring's passing. She was ready for the next stage in her life and the next set of adventures. She talked about her upcoming trips to both Vegas and to Panama. She talked of the Arrows project coming to fruition, and said that she wanted us to take a trip together to Italy and to Spain. And of course, she was only going to go first class. So in the spirit of a trip to Italy, I'd like to pause for just a moment and listen to a song that was recorded live in the Coliseum in Verona.